people, stay dandy, baby. Kawaki has decided to abscond from Konoha Village, and he runs afoul of the greatest Ishiki Otsutsuki fanboy. That's right, Code catches up with him in the latest chapter of Boruto Naruto Next Generations. But before we begin the review proper, make sure, my friends, to subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this one. If you're digging my content, go ahead and obliterate the like button. It's super easy to do, and it helps out all of my videos, ensures more people can see my content. And if you are already subscribed, maybe you should also consider checking out my Patreon page. You'll be able to support the channel in a completely different way by supporting it financially. Not to mention, first-time donators, you will receive an anime review of your choosing. Also, before we begin, I would also like to ask all of you to go ahead and pre-order your copy of Metroid Red for the Nintendo Switch, which is going to be releasing on October 8th, 2021. Nintendo is not paying me anything. I just want people to buy this game because Metroid kicks a lot of ass. And here we are, the latest chapter of Boruto, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it at all. I'm a little disappointed in this month's chapter, and just saying that out loud makes me realize why I'm disappointed. It's this month's chapter. If this was a weekly or even like a bi-weekly manga series, I'd be willing to let a few things go. But the fact of the matter is, not really that much happens in this chapter, and to me that's kind of disappointing. And look, I'm not saying that I don't want substance in my stories. I mean, sure, I'd like a lot of really cool action and everything. Those tend to be the highlights and the things that I think, honestly, most people really enjoy about these shonen-styled manga series. But the fact of the matter is, most of this chapter can be boiled down to just a couple of things. Kawaki leaves Konoha Village, he gets found by Code, gets his ass handed to him, Boruto tries to warn everybody, and then he interjects, joining in the fight at the end of the chapter. That's about it. The chapter also has me realizing that Konoha's security, in particular the team that's working with Ino and everything, the sensory ninjas, are not exactly doing a great job, especially when Kawaki was able to escape from the village so easily, especially with such powerful people in it. It is a little weird that he was actually able to escape, but it's very clear that Kawaki is not your normal, everyday shinobi. Hell, he's only been learning how to be a ninja for a very short amount of time, but he also has a lot of mysterious things about him, and we get to see that when he escapes from Konoha Village, he's almost instantaneously met by Code, who does have a pretty cool appearance, I have to admit, basically just appearing directly behind him, or maybe even warping out from his back with like his weird bands, and then just proceeds to just beat the fuck out of him. This is a harsh beating, but it's also followed by a lot of villain monologuing, essentially him going over his plan of saying, "Nothing's going to get in my way of killing everyone." Kawaki, I'm gonna back off on you for a little bit, but the fact of the matter is, you're gonna die eventually. But I'm also keeping you alive because there's someone really important who wants to meet you, and I'm guessing that's actually going to end up being Ida, because throughout the course of this like entire beating that he receives from Code, she's desperately doing everything in her power to make sure that Code doesn't kick his edgy little ass, and then just out of nowhere, the chapter sort of ends with Boruto arriving, just doing an awesome Might Guy dynamic entry-styled kick, and everybody dodges it, and he arrives as he prepares to help his newfound friend. And that's the chapter. I mean, there are other parts of this chapter, but it's mostly just Boruto running around and telling everybody, Kawaki left, he duplicated his chakra, somebody believe me, crazier shit has happened, we need to go after this guy. How is Boruto the only one to actually show up first? There should be all sorts of other characters who should be going after Kawaki in this moment, but no, of course, it's Boruto. Now, I'm not trying to drag this chapter entirely. It's the type of chapter that I think is going to get better when you read it, when combined with other chapters, probably the one that's going to come after this, but we are basically about to get like our first real major encounter with like the main villains of the current series and our main characters, so I'm sure something really big is going to happen, and this is going to be an opportunity to potentially lead into the story that's going to be happening in the future of Boruto, the one we know as the eventual time skip, which is going to be pitting Boruto and Kawaki against one another in a post-apocalyptic looking Konoha. This could be the catalyst in the events which actually end up setting that off, or it could be something else entirely. It's kind of hard to say at this point, and the fact that we have to wait every damn month for something like this really makes this excruciating. That's really my only thoughts about this chapter. You know, I liked the color page at the beginning. Code looked pretty freaking cool with his weird freaking Freddy Krueger claws, but otherwise, That's about it. And, you know, it's just my opinion, guys. You don't have to like it, you don't have to love it, and you can completely disagree with it. And you can disagree with me in the comment section below. Or you can tell me what else you thought about this chapter and where it potentially could be going for the rest of the series. As for what's going to happen next, I'm not sure. I mean, we know that Code is, like, obnoxiously powerful, and I just don't see Kawaki and Boruto being able to take him on, especially because Ishiki was, like, on an entirely different level, and Boruto could do nothing against him, and it's only been a small amount of time since that big incident, so I just don't see this working out all that well in their favor. I mean, there is the potential for Naruto and Sasuke to actually arrive. I'd love to see Sasuke return and do something, especially after the big injury that he received when he had his eye gouged out by frickin' Borushiki. But still, there's a lot of little twists and turns and things they could do here. I'd like to see maybe Ida and her stupid little brother Daemon maybe get involved as well. There's a lot of potential for what things are going to happen now, but as it stands, we gotta wait a little while before we get there. It felt like I honestly didn't get that much when compared to the last chapter, which again was also a pretty slow one of just watching Kawaki just escape from Konoha Village and that one ninja who was like guarding him the entire time, who might be the dumbest Konoha ninja I've ever seen. Just look at this big blubbering idiot. So let me go ahead and put a score to this one. We're skipping the whole rundown. I just don't have that much to say about this one. I liked Code. He was really cool looking in the chapter, but again, it was basically him just sort of reiterating his plans, Kawaki escaping and Boruto going after him. That's really it. To me, this was just kind of an average chapter of the series, which is why I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. Now remember, average is not necessarily terrible. It's very readable. It's just not really all that exciting. It's, again, another one of those chapters that reminds me they really ought to bump this up to like a weekly or a bi-weekly style manga series. And I mean, I know I'm not alone in this. I know a lot of people have the same thoughts. It's just the way that I'm actually getting it. So there it is. That's my thoughts. Like I said, let's have a discussion all about this chapter in the comments section below. Make sure to tell me what you thought about it, what you hope to see from the future of Boruto, and all that fun stuff. Thank you guys for watching this video. Take care of yourselves, and as always, stay dandy, baby.